Okay, we're on trail G39. It's probably a little bit past 8 in the morning. It's about 37, 38 degrees. Got a hard pack downhill here for maybe, half a mile. It's not that steep. You still gotta pay attention. Hit a rock the wrong way. You go down pretty quick. I was looking at my brush guards the other day in the garage, these blue bark busters, and the one on the left side here is all banged up. The one on the right's not all that bad. I think I've dumped the bike probably 75% of the time I dump it, it's to the left. I don't know why. Those are a good invention. When I was a kid, there's no such thing as bark busters. It's a new invention. Back in the day when we dumped our bike, we'd break a shift lever or a brake lever. We used to go through them like 3 a year. We're constantly replacing the brake and shift levers. Sometimes we go to plastic because they were cheap. The aluminum ones like I got now just snap. They got all different lengths. They got long ones, medium ones, short ones. But knock on wood, these are the original shift lever and brake lever on this bike. One of the first things I put on was those bark busters. Plus it protects your hands from getting whipped. It's another thing. As a kid, I used to wear gloves, but without the bark busters, your knuckles would get whipped with a switch as you're riding through the woods. It wasn't comfortable. They had like pieces of rubber sewn into the knuckles. Try to protect you a little bit, cushion you as you're riding through the trails. I used to come home from school and gas up the bike and head out into the woods for hours till dinner time. And then I stopped riding for, probably 30 years, more than that. 30, 35 years, never sat foot on a bike. I bought this in 2019 maybe? The miner shack right there. 2019 or 2020, somewhere in there. I think that's a big bush of poison ivy right there growing up that tree. You can see those shiny leaves, how tall it is. All that's poison ivy. Not something you want to go rubbing on your face. There's the resting spot. Let's see how dark it is. There's a squirrel. Get out of my spot, squirrel. I love this spot. Pretty nice. There's some poison ivy right there, I think, too. Alright, I'm going to take a little break and take some photos. Okay, here we go. We're at the resting spot here. I saw a big red-tailed hawk go into that. Straight ahead there's a tree coming out of the side of the mountain. It's got two knot holes. One looking at us and one looking to the right. And that one looking to the right is a big hole. And I saw a red-tailed hawk. I didn't know whether it was a squirrel or a red-tailed hawk go in there. And then I went over and farted around near there, and then he took off. It was a red-tailed hawk was living in that tree. Pretty funny. He says, why build a house when there's one already there? Pretty smart. Back on G39. Heading down G39. It's really great weather today. It's not that cold actually. I got 3 layers on and my winter gloves. That has something to do with it. Here's this dangerous section here. You don't want to be daydreaming. Daydreaming and go off the edge there, you're going to feel it. Or if you're not familiar with the trail. like the blackberries are blooming. Blackberry bush. Oh, the windmills are turning. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we got 2 windmills cranking today. Looks like they're going pretty slow, but that's a lot of torque cranking away on that generator. Oh, there's 3 of them cranking. Maybe they heard me bitching about it yesterday. They were all sleeping yesterday. There's 3 of them cranking right now. There's one section at the end of this I've got to be careful, because last time I rode through there, a big stick wrapped me right between my goggles and my helmet. Gave me a fat lip. I think it's up here. Animal walking through there. This section of the trail is pretty fun. Just cruise along. It's not too bumpy. Ooh, windy. Pond right there. Ride the edge if you have to. Try not to die. Try not to die. as the road disappears. I think this is a section that kicked my ass last time, right there. I think it was that big stick right there. I have to watch out for that coming back. I don't have a saw, or I'd cut it down. This trail actually gets too rough for me further on. I've taken it as far as I can before. Not much further, it gets pretty rough. So if I can't even figure out how to shift, I certainly don't need any rougher trails. There's a stick that got me last time. One of those right there, I tried to ride underneath, and one of those got me right under, or right above the camera actually. Above the camera, underneath my goggles, and above my helmet, my teeth guard. I was moving too. Tried to duck down, but it got me pretty good. A fat lip. Last night I was thinking about all of the not all, but a couple of the bigger lies that I've been told my entire life. From the time I was a kid until today, actually. And the first one was I think I was in probably first or second grade. They told me that the whales were going to go extinct. They said that the Japanese fishermen were just killing all the whales, and unless something was done, there'd be no more whales, in our lifetime. That was 50 years ago. As far as I know, the whales are doing fine. And I'm pretty sure that they're still hunting them, because I see these eco-fanatics in their Zodiacs trying to block the fishing vessels. So I guess they're still fighting the fight, but the whales are pretty much everywhere. I've been on a couple whale watches before. Near Cape Cod, I forget. I don't know if it's Buzzards Bay or whatever, just above Cape Cod, and just above it there in that bay, there's a bunch of whales in there. So I've been on a couple whale watches. They're fun to watch, but I was told as a kid there'd be no more left. Unless I gave money. Give money now. It's only $19 a month. 34 cents a day. We'll send you a t-shirt. And you can save a whale. So that was one of the big lies. the whales are going to disappear in our lifetime. I'm still alive, at least for now. So that was a BS story. And the second one was, I can't remember when they started this, whether it was when I was in elementary school or middle school. And they started telling us that the Amazon rainforest was going to disappear. Even as a kid, I remember looking at the numbers and just shaking my head saying, that's BS. They were telling us that the amount of the Amazon rainforest that was being cut down every year was the size of Texas. And I was like scratching my head, saying, geez, man, I got a map or a globe here. It does not seem logical. I mean, at that rate, if you overlaid Texas over the entire South American continent, South America, I mean, Texas is pretty big. I mean, it would only take 20 years. There wouldn't be a tree left in all of South America. So if you just overlaid Texas on the Amazon rainforest, it would only take like 10 years. I mean, I think that's what they were saying. You know, at this rate, the size of Texas every year is getting cut down and burned, and we need to do something. So please, give $19.99 a month. It's only 34 cents a day, and we'll send you this blanket. So, I mean, that was at least 45 years ago. They were telling me that the Amazon rainforest would be completely gone in my lifetime. And as far as I know, the rainforest is doing fine. I'm not sure I would want to walk through it. It's pretty thick. So that was the second lie, was the Amazon rainforest was just going to be cut down and burned for some reason. And then the third lie, which is the biggest, is climate change. Climate change is going to end the world. So I think the reason they stopped with the whales in the Amazon is that it can be measured, right? You can actually look at the number of whales and say, wait a minute, that's absolute crap. There's plenty of whales. And then you can look at the Amazon rainforest and say, well, wait a minute. You said it was going to be gone by now. It's growing back thicker and thicker every year. So they kind of abandoned that. Probably wasn't making them any money. Nobody was buying their t-shirts. So now they're on to climate change, which has evolved over the years from a hole in the ozone layer to the greenhouse effect to global warming. And even that could be measured. People are like, wait a minute, global warming? It's been colder and colder for the past 10 years. So they're like, oh man, we need to come up with something. So now they just created the umbrella. which is climate change. It really can't get measured, right? So now you can teach all these kids in school that climate change is coming, and the world's going to end in their lifetimes if they don't do something. You know, if they don't contribute and give money, because it covers everything, right? So if there's a cooling trend, they can say, damn it, it's that climate change again. And if it warms up and there's a warming trend, they go, oh, it's that climate change. And if a hurricane hits Florida, they say, damn, it's that climate change again. Or if there's wildfires in California, it's climate change. So climate change is really a great villain. You can essentially blame it for just about anything. Anything bad you can blame on climate change. And then what they'll do is, what they're doing is saying, well, it's the developed countries that are causing it. So you make a villain out of the industrialized nations. You say, well, you know, all these poor, undeveloped countries are taking the brunt of climate change that's created by the industrialized countries. So what we need to do to make things equal is we need to take some money from the industrialized nations. We need to put it in a big pool of money that's controlled by a global government. We'll give some to the World Health Organization. We'll give some to the the global financial institutions, so they can manage who gets all the money. And that's really their end goal, is to take money from one person and give it to another, all under the guise of climate change. And people are buying into it. Crazy.